Hi everyone, just want to do a quick breakdown of the trades you may or may not have seen on the Instagram stories taken from Friday, just gone. So I took two trades on AUDUSD, one of which was a loss. It was a little bit of, it wasn't the greatest entry, but the second trade was the winner, and I took 5.6% from this. So including the loss, it was about 4.6% that was banked through this trade. So I'm just going to quickly, I'm just going to zoom out on the daily here. So on the daily, what we can see, we are inside a daily supply zone, and this blue line at the top here, this represents the liquidity inducement candle, which is within inside this area here. I'm not going to dive too deep into that because that's a separate lesson and it takes a little while to explain this, but this blue line is part of the confluence to what kind of led to taking this short here. So if we just drop down to the hourly, what we can see here is we've had this sweep of liquidity. This sweep of liquidity wasn't classified as a sweep until we had this break to the downside here. We've got this SMS, this shifting market structure, where we've had a candle close and we've created a new low. So that's when this sweep was then allocated and, well, not allocated, but recognized. And from there, we've got some lower time frame PYs in this area, which we were sort of looking at as well. So this is what we're looking at on the 1 hour, and as you can see, price is showing early signs of bearish intent. And as you can see from here, this high did not break past the previous high, and the next high that was formed here during this trade that I took did not break past this high either. So currently, as it stands, price action is struggling to create new highs. It looks like it wants to create more lows, but this low here so far has not managed to break beyond this low. But this is the latter part of the trading day on Friday, so we may see price continuing to the downside in the new week, but we'll have to wait and see if that's the overall intent for the market. So let's have a little closer look at the POIs that were selected from here. So what we can see, we have this POI here, which is a 5 minute. This one up here is on the 3 minute. So this one, let me just use bar replay for a moment. So this POI here is a 3 minute. So I wasn't too focused on this one. This one, in terms of the 3 minute time frame, I had this set up as a trap because of this POI here, but when we look at it on the 5 minute, this POI isn't really visible. So this area here still looks valid on the 5 minute, but as we start going down the time frames, this starts to look a little bit like a potential trap area. But if we start focusing too much on the lower time frames, things start getting noisy. So I was still cautious of this area, but essentially when we had, let me just come out of bar replay, and we can see once we've had this mitigation of this POI just here, we've then formed two more POIs within the Asia session. Now after this, when we've had these two POIs formed, we can see we've got some order flow now kicking in from, more so from this point, and this kind of leads to the losing trade that started here. So what we can see, we've got this POI formed here, and then we've had the mitigation, and then we've had another POI formed around here. We've then had another mitigation. We've had a push to the downside again, and then on the, I think it was the 1 minute that I looked at here, I had a POI formed here, which then it didn't follow the mitigations or the order flow that we kind of had going on here. It just broke straight through, pushed to the upside, and it went for this POI around here. So this trade was the first one was a losing trade. I was a little bit too focused on the the potential of some order flow kicking in from this point, but we use a stop loss for a reason. But I also had this other POI up here which I was still interested in taking a trade from, and this obviously is where the move actually happened. So let's have a closer look at the POI that failed, and we can start to break down why this failed. So as you can see here on the 1 minute chart, we can see we've got this POI formed here. You might be wondering what this line is here. If I just double click, we can see we did have an RSI divergence forming here. This is one of the confluences that I like to use for taking my trade setups. So we had the RSI divergence, and essentially I was looking to trade off the POI, which has the divergence from there. But again, this trade obviously didn't work out because we had a reason for price to push to the upside and mitigate a POI further above. So when this trade failed, I then set a limit order. We tapped into around here, and as you can see, price reacted very nicely from this area, continued pushing to the downside, and my target was around this POI just here. So in total, this one was a 5.6%, but including this loss here, the overall profit was 4.6% taken from this trade setup. So these setups, they were forecasted in the morning. They were sent into the Discord server as potential trade setups that I was looking at for the day. And from there, the members could then make their own judgment and their own analysis to see whether they want to jump into the same trades or not. So this is the thought process that I had for taking these two setups. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comment section below. But if not, see you in the next one.